Imagine waking up only when your body decides it's ready. No alarm, no glowing phone, no schedule, no inbox waiting for you. You open your eyes as the morning sun slowly rises. The air is cool, birds are already singing. Last night's campfire is still glowing beneath the ashes. You stretch, look across the horizon, and ask yourself one simple question. What do I want to do today? For most of us, that sounds like the beginning of a dream vacation. But for nearly 99% of human history, it was simply life. For roughly 300,000 years, humans lived without clocks, calendars, salaries, or jobs. There were no bosses, no offices, no Monday mornings. Life followed the rhythm of sunrise and sunset, not the ticking of a clock. Today, the average person spends nearly 90,000 hours working. We grow up believing that's normal. Study, work, earn, retire, and hopefully, someday, enjoy the freedom to finally live. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Was it always this way? The answer is no. For most of human history, the idea of selling your time in exchange for survival didn't exist. So what did humans actually spend their days doing? Most people imagine prehistoric life as constant suffering. Wake up, hunt, barely survive, repeat. But archaeology tells a very different story. In 1963, archaeologist Richard Lee lived with the Juhonsi people of Botswana, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies on Earth. Instead of guessing how they lived, he measured it. The result surprised everyone. Adults spent only about 17 hours each week gathering food. Not every day, not sunrise to sunset, just enough. The rest of their time was simply life. Later, anthropologists found the same pattern among the Hadza in Tanzania, the Ashe in Paraguay, and the Martu in Australia. Different cultures, different continents, almost identical lifestyles. Most spent only 15 to 20 hours each week securing food. That's less time than many people today spend commuting. Of course, life wasn't easy. There were diseases, injuries, dangerous animals, and harsh weather. But endless labor wasn't the reality. In fact, when archaeologists compared hunter-gatherer skeletons with those of the first farmers, something unexpected appeared. The farmers were often shorter. Their joints showed years of repetitive labor. Their teeth were filled with cavities caused by grain-heavy diets. Hunter-gatherers, by comparison, were generally taller, stronger, and healthier. Their bones tell a surprising story. Humans weren't built for endless work. They were built to adapt. And perhaps the greatest evidence they possessed something we constantly chase today was time. Because if survival consumed every waking hour, then discoveries like these should never have existed. 30,000 years ago, deep inside Chauvet Cave in France, artists painted horses, lions, and mammoths with breathtaking realism. These weren't simple drawings. They understood movement, anatomy, and perspective. Creating them required patience and countless hours. Then, in South Africa, archaeologists discovered 100,000-year-old shell beads. The nearest coastline was 20 kilometers away. Someone walked 40 kilometers simply to collect beautiful shells, then spent hours turning them into jewelry, not because they were useful, because they were beautiful. And in Germany, archaeologists uncovered a 40,000-year-old flute carved from a vulture bone. Long before cities, long before writing, humans were already making music. These discoveries reveal something extraordinary. Our ancestors didn't spend every moment surviving. They imagined, they created, they decorated, they sang. Which raises another fascinating question. If people weren't working all day, what did an ordinary day actually look like? Imagine it's dawn in Africa 50,000 years ago. Children laugh as they run through the camp. Breakfast is whatever remained from yesterday's hunt or gathering. Nobody checks the time. Nobody is late.
People simply decide what feels necessary today. If enough food already exists, many stay behind. Some repair tools, some weave baskets, others prepare animal hides or teach children. Skills aren't developed because a boss demands them, they're developed because the community depends them. When hunting does happen, humans rely on one of evolution's greatest advantages: endurance. Unlike most predators, humans can cool themselves while running. Animals sprint, humans keep moving, hour after hour. Eventually, the exhausted prey collapses from heat. By early afternoon, the usual work is finished. What comes next is the part many modern people struggle to imagine. People rest beneath the trees. They nap, they joke. Children play. Friends groom one another. Conversations continue for hours. Anthropologist James Sussman observed that hunter-gatherers spent around 6 hours every day simply socializing. Because in a world without banks, hospitals, or governments, your relationships were your insurance. When evening arrives, everyone gathers around the fire. If the daytime belonged to survival, the night belonged to stories. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner discovered that while daytime conversations focused on practical problems, more than 80% of nighttime conversations were stories, myths, songs, laughter, legends. The campfire became humanity's first theater, its first classroom, its first library. Long before books existed, knowledge traveled through stories shared beneath the stars. Even sleep followed a different rhythm. Many people naturally slept in 2 phases. They woke quietly in the middle of the night, not because something was wrong, but because that's how human sleep often worked before artificial light. For thousands of generations, this was simply life. Not perfect, but deeply connected to nature. Then, everything changed. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began planting seeds. Agriculture produced more food than hunting ever could. Populations exploded. Villages became cities. Cities became civilizations. But abundance came with a price. Fields demanded constant attention. Planting, weeding, harvesting, defending crops. For the first time, survival depended on endless labor. As societies grew, people specialized: farmers, soldiers, priests, builders, administrators, and eventually, jobs. Human time slowly became something that could be bought, sold, and scheduled. The modern world was born. Agriculture gave us civilization, science, medicine, technology, and eventually, this very video. But perhaps it also cost us something impossible to measure: the feeling that our time truly belongs to us. Maybe that's why retirement has become the modern dream. We spend decades working, hoping that one day we'll finally wake up without an alarm, just like our ancestors once did. The greatest irony of modern life may not be that we work so hard. It's that we spend our entire lives trying to earn the freedom humans once woke up with every single morning.